Hi everyone. Today we're going to talk about parallel worlds, not in a scientific approach, but in a spiritual approach. Um, Parallel worlds are those worlds that exist beyond ours, spiritual worlds, um, beyond that which we can comprehend, see. Um, People tell me all the time, every once in a while they'll like look to the left and they'll see someone, except that person isn't there when they actually turn around and look. And that's your peripheral vision. That's when you look at the space between here and there, here and the other side, or here in another world. We exist, but parallel worlds is us existing in other worlds or other dimensions, living a life there as well. I think, God created a pretty amazing thing when he built us or created our souls, because we have the capability of doing so much. The reason we don't remember our parallel worlds is because we live in a very dense world here. And when you're in the existence, when you're in the awareness here, you're not necessarily aware of another part of your soul living over there. Can you go to that parallel world? Sure you can. Anyone can. People do it all the time. It's similar to astral travel. You can leave your body and leave your physical body, not quote die, but psychologically leave your physical body in a meditation, in a sleep, and take yourself to another place. I mean, we do it all the time. We have an imagination. We can take ourselves anywhere. But you have the ability to see what your parallel worlds are like. And you can live in one, you can live in two, you can live in 10. There is no set number as to how many lives you live at one time. Some people only live one because maybe that's all they can handle. Some people live two. I know 3 of mine. I know one that is completely exactly like this life, except I'm further ahead in my life. I'm a little older. I have accomplished things already. And while I can go to that parallel world and see where I am, I don't necessarily see how I accomplish things, because that's the part of living life here. Sometimes just knowing that you've gotten through something or have accomplished it already in another existence is enough to motivate you, to allow you to get through it in this life easier than if you weren't aware of that. And then you can have a parallel life that's totally opposite of you. You could be living after an Armageddon. You could be living, in the 1800s. You could be living, wherever you needed to go in order to live a life and learn those things you've come to learn in that existence, just like you do in this existence. Are we completely aware of what goes on in that other world? Does it affect our life here? Possibly. Our soul remembers. Our soul is really vast. I think people think of our soul as this tiny little speck on a map because we see the human body and we think of it as so big. Actually, your soul is much bigger than your human body, because your body exists inside of your soul, not the other way around. So when you think of it that way, when you think of your body as being a little speck inside this massive soul, well, then anything is possible. Too busy, we think that, we're it. This physical body is it, and our soul is this tiny little pea inside of us. And that's not it at all. We are great, great beings. We just don't always allow ourselves to be such great beings. But back to parallel worlds. There are many different worlds that souls can go to and live in and exist and learn and grow. Not just here on what we call Earth, not in this dimension. So let's go to the scientific part. Can Can they bypass each other? Can they collide? Possibly. You know, I think anything is possible. I think, one day we're going to find that parallel world that is closest to us. Are we all there? Probably not. Most of us are. And I think when that happens, that will be an amazing, amazing feat. Because then we'll realize that our solar system isn't the only thing out there. I know we already know that scientifically, yet, we can't seem to get past the sun. And what's on the other side of the sun? We don't know. We don't know because we can't get over there. Or we don't have the capabilities yet to get there. And I think once we bypass that, we'll be amazed at what's out there and what is possibly further advanced than we ever could be or ever could imagine to be. Because, obviously other beings have visited our planet. We already know this as a fact. What they are, where they're from, we don't know that. But obviously they have the capabilities to get here. We just don't have the capabilities to get there. And I think one day we will. And I think one day this will be an amazing feat. And more people will understand parallel worlds in a much greater context. And, go find your parallel world. I go to mine every once in a while just for reassurance. When I go to bed at night, I want to go there. I want to remember when I come back. Not necessarily what I did, but that I'm okay. That everything that's going on over there is on track, and I can make this world on track too. Ciao.